Hello everyone, my name is Rajneesh Gupta, CEO of Hex Security. This video is about Linux log analysis. It's a part of forensic investigation and it's very important skill for every SOC analyst. If you are a beginner in blue team career, then this home lab will definitely help you. So let's get started. Right, so let's begin, guys. Before we jump into the actual content, let's understand the outline of the entire course. First thing, we have we'll start with understanding what is forensic investigation. Then we will learn about Linux forensics. What is Linux forensics? Because remember that there are multiple types of forensics under the digital forensics or forensic investigation. Then we will learn about different types of evidences, okay, different type of information important for performing security investigation or forensic investigation. Okay, so then we will learn about different type of forensics and different type of data as well. Then we will learn about what is Linux log analysis and what is the importance of it, and what are the different files that we keep an eye on. Okay. Next, we have different exercises. So we will first start with the exercise one, where we will analyze the system logs using journal CTL. So exercise number two is focused on parsing log files using awk. Then we have exercise three, which is monitoring logs in real time with tail. These are all utility tools. And exercise four, which is summarizing the logs with logwatch. This has to be installed. It's by default there with Red Hat, if I'm not wrong. Then exercise number five, which is using audit D to track system events or to track any policy violation as well. So these are all the content covered in this course. All right, so forensic investigation. Forensic investigation is a process. It's a process of collecting, analyzing, and presenting the digital evidences to identify, investigate, and resolve any security incidents in the network. So basically, if you remember, if you can recall, the incident response process start with the preparation in the beginning. Okay, then we have identification or detection step. Okay, then we have containment and analysis. Then we also have recovery or restore, and then finally we have lesson learned. Okay, so throughout this phase, in the containment and detection phases, we perform the digital forensics. So whenever any incident happen, maybe a ransomware attack or maybe brute force attack attempt, any kind of malware attack attempt as well, we make sure before we take any action, before we even format the machine or clean the machine or do any sort of changes in the machine, we make sure we collect all the evidences, because it's very important from the legal point of view, and it's very important for the analysis point of view as well, so that we can submit this as an evidence. Okay, we or and also we can learn from this kind of threat as well, so that we can prepare ourselves in the future, right? So this helps organization to respond and recover from the security breaches while building their defense against the future threats. All right, so that's the entire purpose of forensic investigation. Now the goal, or let's try to simplify and summarize the goal of forensic investigation. It help us to identify the root cause and the scope of security incidents. So if we know that this is the specific malware, right, we got the malware file, malware sample, we have collected the network connections, memory dump maybe. So these are all information that happened when the when the malware was executing in the network. So once we have those information, this gives us the idea what was the root cause, what was the root cause for this incident. Okay, and then the goal is to gather the evidences, which is admissible evidences to support any sort of legal or any kind of actions that you have to do in the future, right? So that's where also it's very very important. Okay, let's say it's an insider threat attempt, right? So on those situations you have to have legal evidences to submit, maybe in the court or any other judicial system, right? So it also help us to determine how the attacker gained the access and what data was compromised, or what was the overall damage in the network, what was the scope of the attack as well, right? Then it also recommend the action to mitigate the current incident and prevent any sort of future incident or future attack as well. So we learn, improve as an organization because of forensics investigation. At the end, it also provides an intelligence to improve our organization overall security posture. So that's all about forensic investigation. All right, so let's talk about Linux forensics. But before we even talk about it, let's understand different types of forensics. Okay, so the parent forensic is digital forensics. This covers everything. It focuses on collecting, analyzing, and presenting the digital evidences from devices. It could be your computer, it could be your servers, it could be your mobile devices, everything, anything which is digital. When we do forensics on it, it's digital forensics. Everything else is a part of it. For example, we do network forensics. So this is a kind of activity under the digital forensics. For example, database forensics, we do it on the database servers like MySQL, SQL servers. Memory forensics is again a part of digital forensics, where we acquire the memory dump and then we perform the analysis, RAM and cache, to detect further analysis, right? Then we have mobile forensics. Mobile, of course, as the name says, we deal with the mobile phone and perform the forensics on it. Then we have Windows forensic. This is the most common forensics type. Under this, we may have network forensics. Will be having memory forensics under it, high forensics as well. Then we have Linux forensics. Okay, and cloud forensics. Cloud forensic is AWS cloud, Azure cloud, GCP cloud. So they also have servers and different other instances as well. When there is any incident onto the cloud resources and we perform the forensics on it, that's cloud forensics, right? Now let's understand about Linux forensics. Now Linux forensic is the process of analyzing the Linux based system like RPM or Debian based, maybe your Ubuntu system, Red Hat system, CentOS system, Arch Linux, anything, right? To detect or investigate or respond to security incidents. That's Linux forensics, right? So the objective is to collect the evidences, to perform evidence collection or maybe evidence acquisition, and then we have incident detection and response. That's again an objective of Linux forensics. You also have a forensics to be done for the legal purpose as well, but these are some of the major as a part of the incident response. Okay, and then we have analysis phase where we collect the evidence from the machine, from the Linux machine, and this information could be network related information, this could be your memory related information, this could be your storage or anything, right? File as well. And then finally we document it and report it. So that's the entire objective of performing the Linux forensics, and these are major steps into it. All right, so now let's talk about types of evidences from Linux point of view. But first of all, let's make it clear. Evidence is a piece of data or information that actually helpful for detection, analysis, or respond to any sort of security incidents. Okay, so that indicates that yes, these there's something happen in the network, right? Let's talk about the types of evidences. Okay, so first is the live data collection. This is usually collected from tools like EDR. Okay, usually with is the endpoint detection response. These are like antivirus software from the business point of view. So businesses, enterprise network use the EDR software to like CrowdStrike, Falcon, Microsoft Defender for EDR, Sentinel software. So they have live data collection options as well, through which they can collect the live information from the machine. Okay, so this might include information such as processes. Okay, just like on the Linux, we can type commands like ps stop stop, and we can collect the process information, or maybe network connections. So this is the another information. We can run netstat command or lsof minus I, these kind of a command, and we can get the network information, or open file by using lsof command, or system state as well, right? System state. So this will gather the information about the current system state, like uptime command, and this will give us the information about the Linux machine, right? Remotely. Next is the memory dump. Now, memory dump can be of RAM dump, which captures the content of the system RAM for analysis. So you can capture that by dd command or by lime command as well. So these are the utility you can use, and you can also use so that is what we call RAM dump. Okay, and we also have swap space, which collects the data from swap space to recover fragment of memory as well, right? Next types of evidence, basically these can be considered as categories as well. Next type of evidence is disk imaging. So this can be a full disk image of your machine, which you can do that by dd utility, or partition images as well. You can also capture specific partition instead of the entire disk. Okay, so that's the disk imaging. Now next is the file system analysis. So you can either capture the metadata of the machine. Okay, you can extract the metadata file, timestamp, permission. You can do that by ls, the popular ls minus l command. And you can also capture the hidden files. You can search for hidden files with a specific extension by using the find command, or you can also find deleted files. Okay, deleted file as well, right? So this can be tested by, this can be retrieved by the test disk command as well, right? These are all utility command, especially for the Linux. Okay, then one important thing is the log file. Log file also consists a lot of information that can be used as an evidence. Okay, so this could be your system, this can be your system logs. This consists of all the files, all the data from slash var slash log directory, or syslog or auth log as well. Or it can be in any application log. Okay, related to Apache or MySQL as well. So you can collect their logs as well, right? Next is the configuration file. So configuration file can be system configuration. And next we have user activity. So this can be related to, and of course you can capture the configuration file from slash etc slash passwd, which gives you the information about the configuration, or shadow file, or ssd config file as well, right? So next we have user activity. This gives you the information like shell history, right? So shell history capture your command history file, or maybe login records. Okay, login records. So this collects the login records, which is available, I guess, in slash var slash log slash last log. Okay, so this will give you all the last login information. And next we have scheduled task. Now this is all about cron jobs. Okay, this gives you the cron job or scheduled task, which is plan on the machine. So this is usually available in the etc cron tab. Okay, so this is majorly used for machine automatic update, but it can also be used by attackers to perform some batch file upload as well to the command and control center. So these are different types of evidences from Linux point of view. All right, so now let's talk about the Linux log analysis. Okay, Linux log analysis is the process of finding out on retrieving the log files generated by the Linux operating system, and also the application installed on it. Okay, the purpose is to monitor the system behavior, detect anomalies and troubleshoot any sort of issue and investigate incidents as well. As we know, log analysis is a part of Linux investigation, the forensic investigation as well. And Linux logs are also one of the major component of one of the major types of evidence as well in the Linux. Okay, let's talk about the some common types of Linux logs. Okay, this could be generate these are all application as well as system operating system generated logs. Okay, the first is the system generated logs. You can find system generated logs at slash var slash log slash syslog location. This is the file location. This is a general system log that captures the wide range of system information. Okay, you can also find the kernel log as well. I haven't mentioned, but yes, you can also check that out at slash var slash log kern dot log. So this is also, you can check it out. This consists of all the kernel related logs. Next, we have authentication log. So it records the authentication attempt, both successful or failed attempt as well. So this is usually stored as slash var slash log slash auth dot log file in that file. Or we also have secure log file as well that contains the security related events and authentication attempts. So that these are stored, I guess, at slash var slash log secure. This is the location, right? Next, we have application related log. Now this might vary depending on what kind of application installed on your Linux machine. Maybe you have installed Apache, so this would be the location of Apache. Maybe let's say you have MySQL database, so in that case the log will be stored at slash var slash log slash MySQL. This will carry the log of MySQL application. Okay, next, event log. Now event log is log message from the background daemons or logs related to the schedule cron jobs as well. So this is related to the some of the background processes that are running. Okay, but you can also check out cron job related logs. So that can be retrieved from slash var slash log slash cron dot log. Okay, next, you can also check out the hardware related log, which consists of boot process log as well, or kernel buffer messages as well. More very the important one is the boot process log, which can be retrieved from slash var slash log slash boot dot log. So these are some of the common types of Linux logs. Okay, so let's begin with our very first exercise in the Linux log analysis. Okay, I'll share you the link of my GitHub repository for this home lab, which is Linux log analysis home lab for beginners. Okay, we are going to use a command line utility in this home lab. We'll probably cover 4 to 5 exercises. Let's start with the very first exercise, which is analyzing the system logs with journal CTL. Okay, journal CTL is a command line utility, as you can see, for querying and displaying the logs from the system journal. Okay, so let's begin. First, so we can use the journal CTL to retrieve the real time log. I mean, to retrieve the most recent log. We can get the last 100 logs by using this command. So we can type journal CTL minus n 100. This will give me last 100 logs. You see this? This is the list of all the logs. All right. So we can even go further. And what we can do is we can go for the next step where we can even see the last, all the logs from last 1 hour. Okay. So you can use this command. Enter this. You will see the last you see all the logs from last 1 hour. So this is very, very interesting. You can even filter out. You can also perform log analysis by looking at a specific kind of a protocol. For example, in this case, I have created a logs for to retrieve the logs from a SSH protocol. So if anybody logged into the machine, of course I also did, So I can probably get those logs and I can perform the log analysis then. So journal CTL minus u SSH. So this will display all the logs related to the SSH. So you can see this was the port related listening on this specific port. Port 22 is the SSH port, right? I can see who logged in from where, user IP address, connection closed by this IP address. I can analyze who logged in, what was that successful logged in or failed logged in as well. You can see failed password for invalid user installer from this IP address. So this will help me to perform the further log analysis. Okay, I can even be very specific using the grep command. I can filter out certain output logs output by using grep command. So I can enter grep and then enter my keyword error, and I'll see all the logs having error as the keyword, right? So that's very, very interesting. Finally, you can also push all the logs, you can also save all the logs to this file. Okay, this is very straightforward. Journal CTL minus b and then arrow and the file name, and then you can see all the file, right? So I'll show you that here. And perfect. So if you come here, you can see the file has been created. You can do nano and enter the file, and you see all the system log. It's interesting, right? All right, welcome everyone. This is the exercise number 2, and you can find this in the same GitHub repository. And this is again a powerful utility tool. You don't have to install it, individually. It's already built in. Okay, it's already there with your Linux machine. It's a powerful text processing or data extraction tool. Okay, so let me show you how exactly it would work. So if, let's say, you want to extract specific log from your log file or any type of text data, this can be very, very helpful. Let's start with the first command, or you can even type awk yourself and see if you get this response. This shows that awk is already there, so you don't have to do any changes. You can see there are multiple options available. You can use -f this keyword. There are multiple parameter and options for using -c copyright data, -g help, big number, any other options as well. Let's make it simple. Let's start with some simple activity. First task that I've created is to extract specific column. So let's say you want to extract a specific column, maybe one, two, three columns. So you can use this, and we want to extract from this system, extract the data from this system logs, right? Which is normally stored in /var/log system file, right? Sorry, syslog. Sorry, my bad. So syslog. Sorry, yeah, this is not CD because this is a file. So what we are going to do is we'll use this nano directly, because syslog is not a directory; it's a file. Okay, sorry, what's going on? Okay, yeah, log syslog. So this is the entire syslog file, right? Now let's capture 3 columns out of it. And you can see we are capturing the first 3 column of the data. First is the month, then date, and then the time, right? This is the first 3 column. Even you can see in the actual syslog file as well, this is the first 3 column, right? July 21, this is second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column. This is how it's been extracted. Okay, I've also shown you the expected response so you can verify and test yourself. Let's move to the second task in this exercise, which is to filter entity by the keyword. So we can find or extract any specific log based on a specific keyword. Okay, so I can use the awk, and in this case we want to extract a root, any log that has a root in it, okay, from the initial column. So we can enter this, and this represent from any type of data, all the table, all the column into the data. So you can see this is extracting all the logs which has a root in it. You see this? So once you hit enter, you will see all the logs that has root in it, right? You see this root related logs everywhere. Perfect. Now let's go to the next task under this exercise, which is to find out the occurrence of specific keywords. For example, count the number of failed login attempt. I might there's small correction in this. I have done the uh, I've been tracking down the occurrence for the root and login. So but in the description I have mentioned failed. So you can also test for the failed. It's just that you have to replace root with failed. So let me copy this specific command, and then you can see the occurrence is 35,129. The occurrence for this login keyword is this much. You see this login keyword inside, and this represent the count, and we have a operator being used as well, logic operator, right? Once you hit enter, you will see the exact number of times the occurrence. Basically, you can similarly do it for the failed if there is any specific logs failed, right? You can see there's no count as such, so that means there's no log with having a specific keyword like failed in it, right? Let's clear. Go for next task, which is summarize the data. So with this specific command, which is looks like a function as well, it's the custom command. So you can summarize and display the number of entities per unique user in this directory. So auth consists of all the authentication related logs. So in this, we are looking at all the session which is being opened, specific keyword, and it's also look up run a for loop for the user. You see you for the user in the user database, and then print those data as well. For which file? For auth.log file. So if you copy this and paste it here, you will see 33 times it has been called. Okay, and 33 times it has been called that's the number of entry per unique users. Okay, so that's cool. Next, let's go for the next task, which is to save the filter log. So then at the end, you can also filter out the logs and save it to the specific file. um, what I can do is I can paste it here, and I can make a rename this file logs one slash log. Okay, so I look for all the logs that has the root keyword in it, in this syslog file, which is stored in slash var slash log. Syslog is the file name, and then I'm storing it to warning one slash logs. I'll tell you why warning one, because warning already exists. Okay, so we hit enter. Now it's been pushed to this file. Once you run ls, you can see the warning one log file. Do nano and hit enter. You can see all the command. Now you can use this file for further log analysis. All right, so now let's talk about our third exercise, which is to monitor the logs in real time by using tail tool. Okay, now tail is very important. I use it personally a lot. It's a command line utility tool. You don't have to install, and you can see the data in real time. That's the beauty of it. So let me show you. This is if you just run tail and then name of the file, let's say slash var slash log syslog. Okay, if you hit enter, this will give you last 10 lines of last 10 logs. Okay, but if you want to see the real time logs, what you can do is you can run -f and hit enter. This will give you logs in real time as it is going on, maybe in the kernel, all the system related logs. You see everything in real time. So that's the beauty of it, right? Now let's go for the next task, which is you can also be very specific about certain keywords, so you can see the data in real time for a specific keyword. For something like this, right? You can use this command, and you can see you have applied grep command for error keyword. So in real time, if in the system logs, if there's any sort of error, you will see that live, because there's nothing being popped up currently, because there's no data, there's no log carrying any error in it. So that's the reason you don't see it, right? But that's the command you should go for. Okay, you can also monitor multiple logs, log file at the same time simultaneously with using the tail command. Let's say you want to monitor slash var slash log syslog file and also auth log as well. You can do that here, slash var slash log auth dot log. So now you can monitor both the log file at the same time. So it's beautiful. Okay. Now, second thing is you can also limit the number of lines by using -n command. So you can be very specific for both the log file. Again, you can enter -n and 50, hit enter. So so that's makes your job easier. It will display last 10 lines and then continue to monitor it. So first attempt it will give you last 50, sorry, 50 lines based on what you have entered. All right. So this is tail command, and remember, this is very very powerful. I use it very often. All right, so now exercise number 4. This is about summarizing logs with Logwatch. Logwatch is very powerful tool, guys, and a lot of system admin use it to generate the logs, a summarized log of your system related entries, log entries, and you can also configure it to send an email, right? So let me show you how exactly it would work. First thing, you have to install this tool. Okay, so use this. Let's install it. It's already installed in my machine. First thing that you can do is let's verify if everything is good. You can see the syntax of the command. So once you enter log watch, sorry, help, you can see the command option. This is the command format. You have a log watch, you have a detail, you have level option to be defined. You can also specify the file name, service, output, different protocol as well you can define in it. You can also specify the format and email mail to option if you have configured the smtp on your server. Okay. Now, let's say I want to create a summarized report. What you can do is you can use this command, log watch hyphen details hyphen detail, category as low, and then range today. So let's use this command. Let's hit enter. It will take few seconds. So perfect, it's done. You can see this is the entire report. You can see if I go on the top, this entire report, summarized report, start with the log watch, the initial information of it, about the date, range, process today, time, detail, level of output, and then it starts with the status in the change. And then we have unix begin log information related to root. Then we have another sections for postfix begin, connections, ssd begin. So it actually categorized all the logs in a very simplified and comprehensive manner, and this can be sent to the concerned team as well, right? So this is very very powerful tool. I want you to personally experience this. All right, so exercise tracking any system changes using audit d. Audit d is very powerful. As a system admin, you audit a network to discover security violation or track any security related information on the system, right? Admin use this information to analyze what went wrong with the system security policies, and then they can improve it further, right? So system audit is very very powerful for that, right? Let me show you practically. What are we going to do is we are going to create certain rules to track if any changes or privileges has been a change for any of the file. Okay, if it happened, we should get an alert, right? And we'll analyze those logs as well. For that we need audit d in the system. If you don't have it, just install by apt install audit d. In my case it's already there, so I don't really have to install. But on red hat machine it's by default install. On unix, I mean on the linux, ubuntu linux, debian based linux, you have to manually install it, right? So once you do that, let's start the machine. Let's start the audit d instance, right? And then you can verify that as well by systemctl status audit d. If you do that, you'll see active. Perfect. Now what we can do is let's come out of it, And then let's create an audit rule to track all these ch mode change mode command. Okay, so we can create that policy audit ctl by using audit ctl command, and we can keep a track of all the changes happening on the ch mode. Okay, so let's create that rule. The rule name is ch mode changes. Okay, so if anything happened to the ch mode privileges, or any specific command has been executed, I should keep an eye on it, right? So let's create the rule first, and then let's create a sample file. Okay, let's see if I have an existing file, right? So let's do ls minus al, and I can see there is a normal file. Let's take a, okay, this one. Let me change the change the execution privileges for this file. So let's use these warning logs text file. Okay, let's hit enter. Now we have executed this command. Now let's use the audit search command to see what was there any file change in the past, or the permission of a file has been changed in the past. So you can use au search minus k and the file name, the rule name, right? So use this command, hit enter. Perfect. Can you see this? We got some logs, and you can see the file name was warning underscore logs. So this entire log is slightly difficult to read, but you might be able to see certain information. You can see ch mode changes, and this is the rule name that we have created, and there must be our file somewhere. Of course, you can use the grep command as well, but again, we have our rule name here, and yeah, perfect. Can you see this? This is the file which was changed to 755, the privilege value. So we just tracked any changes or any permission change to any file. So similarly, you can keep an eye on everything, even if root all the commands that root executed, you can keep a track of all the changes. So anything that changes or anything related to policy violation you want to keep a track of, you can do that with audit d. All right, so I hope you have enjoyed this crash course. If you have any question, do let me know in the comment section below. I would love to answer that. Thank you so much for watching.